Hey there guys, so first I do want to say thank you because I'm glad people liked the summary video that I did on Friday. It was very fun to do even though it took a very long time, but I think what we're going to do from now on is every 15 weeks we're going to make a summary video like that on whomever's challenge week that is, and I think the next one is sometime in December. Katie and I discussed this at least, and a few other people in the comments agreed with the idea, so if James and Spencer didn't know about that already, I think that's what's going to happen. So that's at least what should happen, in my opinion and in Katie's opinion, because it helps people to catch up on the conversation and blah blah blah. In response to James's and Spencer's videos, I don't have much to say on the actual content of those two videos, although yay with the moving in Spencer, but that leaves me with a little bit of a strain here because I don't really know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to talk about what I realized when I was watching Spencer's video, which is usually what I do, I find. So what I realized is that if we were having this conversation in real life, there would be such a different flow to the conversation. I mean, obviously, we wouldn't have it so that James talks for a few minutes, and then Spencer talks for a few minutes, and then I talk for a few minutes, and then Katie talks for a few minutes, but even if we did have that, the structure of the conversation would be different, because, like Spencer said, we're able to watch people's videos many times to understand exactly what they're saying and remember everything that they said and analyze it all and determine exactly what they meant to say and figure out where we want to go from there and plan exactly what we want to say and think about what we want to say and how we want to say it and how we want to portray it to other people. And so there's a very different feel to this conversation. It does feel relatively natural, but it's not really natural at all, because in real life, somebody says something once, you have a few moments while they're talking and then a little bit after they talk to think about what you're going to say, and then you say it. And there's really not much time for pause to analyze what they've said, and so a lot of times, personally, I know that I go back to conversations in my head sometimes and realize, oh, I could have said that, or oh, they meant to say this. I just misunderstood, and so it's very weird, and I think it's actually a really nice opportunity that we have here to have a conversation like this on the internet as opposed to in real life, because here we're allowed to analyze and do a lot of thinking and whatnot. The other thing I wanted to talk about is sort of like a free train of thought sort of thing. For the past few days, myself, Katie, James, and a bunch of our other friends have been playing The Sims Social on Facebook, which is basically The Sims, but just for Facebook, so obviously it's different, but basically the same concept. And if you've never played The Sims, it's basically you just have a character and you just control their life and build a house and interact with friends, and it's really all that there is. So basically you're just playing your life, but online, and generally with different people that actually exist in your life, and it's just very strange to me. I mean, I've played these games before and I've never really thought much about it, but it is very strange how we go online to live out our lives, how we find it completely normal, and I mean there are businesses that thrive on the fact that they can make games that emulate real life, and people will play them instead of actually going out and doing those things in real life. I find that very strange, and I find it exciting personally as a computer science student. It's nice to know that there is a future for my business, but it is very strange that we do such a large amount of stuff online nowadays. And actually there was a website that I was directed to a few days ago by a bunch of different people actually, which dares you almost to just sit and relax for a few minutes. You have to turn off your phone, turn off anything that makes noise and distractions, and just listen to the music and read the messages that come up on the screen and just relax and just disengage yourself from the entire world. And it is actually a very weird feeling. And it's just so strange that you're at your laptop or you're at your computer and you're just disconnected from the world because it dares you to do this, and it begs you to do this, and it has messages that come up about how pointless some of the stuff we do online is, how really meaningless a lot of it is, and I have to agree to some extent, but to some extent not so much. They sort of somewhat argue how social networking sites are, which is a big debate, and if we wanted to get into that here, we could. I'm not going to bring that up here because I feel like this video is already probably too long already, but if Katie wants to talk about that, she can feel free to do so. But it goes over how things are just meaningless sometimes, and how we spend a lot of time on our computers and plugged in, if you will, or wired in to our lives instead of just living out life from day to day. And it sort of makes you think about what would happen if we continued on this pattern in the future. What happens if we spend more and more time online or on computers? And it's just a very strange thought. Katie has already made her challenge video, so you do not need to leave suggestions for her unless you have a really good one and you want to share it for James next week. Feel free. And Katie, I will see you tomorrow, and best of luck, because I know you are moving. I just asked you, and you're moving on Sunday for university, which is awesome. So have fun. I will see you tomorrow and Friday, and goodbye.